Yes, Mr. Van.
As the court pleases. My Lord, before we commence with the day's proceedings, with your leave, we would like to hand up certain exhibits. My Lord, the first exhibit is an unsigned affidavit of one Piers Ashley Pagoo. My Lord, Mr. Pagoo is a former investigator with the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, and his affidavit discloses that he approached Mr. Rodriguez to provide an affidavit and or testify in relation to the Timol matter, and according to Mr. Pagoo, Mr. Rodriguez declined to do so. We undertake to get you the signed version of that affidavit during the course of next week. Mr. Pagoo is currently working in the United Kingdom, but is undertaken to sign today and courier. We've marked that affidavit, my Lord, H11.
It concerns Mr. Rodriguez.
That is so, my Lord.
His communication with him.
Correct, my Lord.
Well, it may well be that we'll have to hear him, and he will have to come through sometime next week.
My Lord, if you so direct, we will arrange for Mr. Pagoo to return to South Africa.
Yes. In any event, as I indicated to counsel in chambers, I intend to recall Dr. Holland and Dr. Naidu, specifically in regard to the evidence that came to light yesterday about the possible timing of the death of Mr. Timol, as pathologists to come and assist us here. So we will, at the end of the proceedings today, stand down until the 10th of August, which is Thursday next week. We need to hear that evidence. It's very critical. And if need be, we may have to recall Mr. Rodriguez the following day on Friday the 11th. So I'd like you to keep your diaries open for that purpose. And I will keep this, and then you will, through my clerk, inform me as to what the position is. But we will definitely sit on the 10th of August.
As the court pleases, we will
Yes.
approach both pathologists and arrange for them to be present on that
Yes.
day. My Lord, the next document we wish to hand up is a photocopy of a finding by the Truth and Reconciliation Commission in respect of the Security Branch Officer Roy Rus Swanepoel. In this particular finding, Mr. Swanepoel was held responsible or contributing to the cause of death of one Babla Saluji, who fell to his death from the old Security Branch headquarters, Grays Building in downtown Johannesburg. My Lord, why we are putting up this document is that Mr. Rodriguez testified that he knew Mr. Swanepoel very well, and we intend to refer to this document in argument. And my Lord, it's a one-pager. We have marked it H12.
Yes.
My Lord, the next exhibit is an affidavit from one Geraldine Friesler. She is the co-director of the South African History Archives, the organization responsible for producing the DVD and booklet Between Life and Death. My Lord, that was the booklet and DVD we handed up as an exhibit. It dealt with the history of John Vorster Square. Ms. Friesler confirms that her organization made and produced that particular DVD and booklet. We've marked that affidavit H13. And the final exhibit we intend to hand up is a document that my Lord had requested, which is essentially a summary of the relevant extracts from the police file of Captain J.Z. van Niekerk. My Lord will recall that Exhibit J2, van Niekerk's police file, is a very large document, probably comprising around 300 pages. Our investigator, Mr. Dutton, has gone through that document and has summarized the most relevant aspects. We've obviously delivered these to our colleagues, but it does disclose a conviction of 2 counts of assault and numerous allegations made in complaints of torture, including forced standing, forced placing in the imaginary chair position, and several assaults involving sticks, presumably iron rods, sjambok, punching and kicking, as well as electric shock treatment.
He's implicated in all those allegations.
He is implicated in all those allegations.
And you started off by saying that he has a conviction in respect of which ones now?
He has a conviction of 2 counts of assault involving an assault on an individual who was being held in custody at the Brooklyn police station, and indeed that individual died, Your Honour. And another policeman was convicted of culpable homicide in that incident.
And when did this happen?
That was van Niekerk was convicted in May of 1960.
May 1960.
Yes, Your Lordship.
That was before he was allowed to interrogate Mr. Timol.
That was some 11 years before.
And yes, I will have that, as well as that of Captain Gloy.
Yes, so the allegations made against Captain Gloy are also reflected in the summary that we're going to present to you. I can tell you, my Lord, that a large number of the allegations made in complaints, some of them were made in 1970 and several made in 1971, not long before October of 1971.
The early part of 1971. I know in respect of, I think, Gloy, he was involved somewhere in February 1971.
Yes. With Captain van Niekerk.
In regard to assault of a detainee.
Indeed.
Yes. Let me have that
and
document.
that summary is marked J4.
J4.
My Lord, that wraps up the exhibits for the moment. We are expecting one further affidavit, hopefully later in the morning, and then we will give you the updated exhibit list as it stands.
Yes.
My Lord, while we're busy with exhibits, while cross-examining Mr. Joao Rodriguez, you wanted to see the full context of the quote I made to him out of the big book of Inside Boss.
Yes.
That has been done now. It's L1, my Lord. So the
L1.
relevant chapter 43, and you will see it's relevant to this matter, talking about the 10th floor that Boss officials also based there, refers to Mr. Mabelani and the other people that fell out of the building, my Lord. So we've completed it and put it in context. L1, my Lord.
Yes, and you got a statement. Did you receive a statement from Mr. Mabelani's relatives?
Yes, we are working on that, my Lord.
You are working on that statement.
We work.
But is it possible to get the details of what happened to him, even though they may not directly relate to this? But then if he died in detention at John Foster Square, I'll want to know about that. Not much the details, but as to when did this happen and which police were involved.
My Lord, if you look at L1, the bottom of that page, it refers to Matthew Mabelani in February 1977 and another person, Mr. Z.J. Mazeka, who also died in April 1974. They're on page 581, my Lord. So, but yes, I will talk to Captain Ben now, and I'll try to get you as much information that I can, my Lord.
Yes. Yes, no, thank you very much. It's L1, right?
L1, my Lord.
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Pretorius. Yes, Mr. Van.
My Lord, with your leave, we would like to do the photo, I don't want to call it an ID parade, but for the want of a better word, the photo parade at this stage.
Yes, it's just photo identification.
Photo identification.
It isn't a parade, yes.
Yes. So, my Lord, yesterday we handed up three documents, exhibits N1, N2, and N3, and I believe your clerk should have those with him. And perhaps let's just wait for him to hand them to you.
Is it the same documents as yesterday?
It's the same documents as yesterday.
Have you attended to the photographs that you said?
And we have attended to the removal of the photographs of Warrant Officer Els and Sergeant Rodriguez.
Yes. It's N1, N2, and N3.
That's right.
Yes.
So N1 is an uncaptioned photo album.
Yes.
And that's the one that we will hand to the two witnesses. And N2 is the index, and that one has names. And then the final one, as I mentioned yesterday, N3 are the photos that the witness, Dr. Essop, compiled. The names are on the index, but the witnesses will not be given that index. I just want to make sure. So, my Lord, with your leave, perhaps we can call Dr. Essop to the stand.
Yes. Yes, please.
Your full name and surname?
Mohammed Salim Essop.
Do you have any objection in taking the oath?
No?
Did you say that the evidence that you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Please raise your right hand and say, so help me God.
So help me God.
Dr. Essop, you may be seated. If you
I prefer to stand.
You prefer
Thank
to
you,
stand.
my Lordship.
Dr. Essop, good morning and welcome back to the inquest.
Good morning.
Dr. Essop, you've heard the court on this matter of photo identification, and we simply wish to engage in a simple exercise of asking you to look at the uncaptioned photocopied photographs. The majority of the photographs retrieved have come from police files provided by the South African Police Service. And we simply want to ask you if you recognize any of the individuals depicted in these photographs, and if so, how you recognize them. Do you have the document titled Uncaptioned SB Officer Identity Photo Album?
Yes, I do.
If you could please open it to the first photograph and advise the court whether you recognize the person depicted there.
Yes, I recognize the man.
And how do you recognize him?
He was one of my interrogators and torturers.
Okay. Do you happen to know his name?
Yes,
Please provide.
Chloe.
Thank you. Can we turn to the next page? Do you recognize the individual in that photograph?
Yes,
How do you recognize him?
he was one of my interrogators and torturers.
And do you know his name?
Van die Kerk.
Can I ask you, Dr. Essop, do you know his name because of these proceedings, or did you come across his name subsequently, or did you know his name at the time of your detention?
I knew very few of the names at the time. I certainly knew Colonel Piet Greling's name, Sergeant Klein.
Yes, no, sorry, Dr. Essop. Please don't mention other names other than the ones we're talking about at the moment. So perhaps we need to do that exercise for Captain Gloy. When did you get to learn his actual name?
After my release from detention, while I was an awaiting trial prisoner, I did look at all the newspaper articles that my parents, my father and my sisters had collected, and subsequently to after that, after I was imprisoned obviously, and after my release from prison, I went back to the articles and I, sort of compiled a list of
Right.
names.
Okay, but at the time of your interrogation, you didn't know Captain Gloy's name?
No names are revealed to me.
Right. And the same applies in relation to Captain van Niekerk?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, let's now turn to the third page. Do you recognize the individual depicted? It is a smaller photograph. Unfortunately, we didn't have a better copy.
I cannot say I can recognize. Sorry, I don't think I can recognize this person's.
Okay, and that's fine. If you can't recognize,
Yeah.
just simply say so. All right, then let's turn to the next page. Do you recognize the man depicted in that photograph?
The face seems familiar, and I'm trying to put in the identification.
If you're struggling, then simply say you're
No, I'm not
unable.
struggling. I'm just trying to put
Yes.
a name.
Well, even if you don't know the name, but do you recognize him as one of the people who interrogated you?
Yes, I think so.
You're certain?
Yes.
So sorry, Dr. Aesop, I don't want to nitpick, but are you saying, yes, I think so?
Yeah, I appreciate what that I need to be absolutely certain or not.
Dr. Aesop, I think we're going to leave it at that.
Yeah.
Yes, I think so,
Okay.
because
Yeah. I
if
think
you
I'd
were
like to-
certain,
yeah.
then
I would leave it like that.
Yes.
I think so.
Right. Okay, if we can move to the next photograph, which is a much larger picture. Yes, that's the photograph.
My Lord, can I just say a little on this when I'm doing this identification with photographs? I wouldn't like to identify somebody I'm not absolutely sure about.
Yes.
Right.
That's what's expected
It's
of
46
you.
years on,
Yes.
and I need to be absolutely certain.
Yes.
And the face is familiar,
Yes.
right? But it's hard for me to say more.
Yes, you have to be candid with the court. We expect you where you're not certain, just say so. There's no harm in doing that.
Yes, my Lord, I would like to
Yes.
do that.
Yes.
Okay.
And Dr. Aesop, we should have made a certain admission that not all these photographs depict these individuals as they were in 1971. Indeed, some of them would have been taken years later, and in some cases, years before. So some of these individuals may have changed since October 71, is what I'm trying to say. Can we then move to the next photograph?
Yes, a definite yes.
Please explain why you say yes.
I think he's Furi,
One of the interrogators.
one of the interrogators and torturers.
Okay, let's proceed. You got the next photograph.
It's page 8, is it? Right.
7.
This the next photograph has
sorry.
has the SAP emblem next to the picture.
No.
You don't recognize
No.
this one.
Page 8.
No.
Page 9.
I would say it's hard for me to recognize his face.
Let's move on. Page 10.
Yes. A definite yes.
Who's he?
I would say Van die Kerk. I would say he was one of my interrogators and a real nasty torturer.
Page 11.
Yes.
Who's he?
Furi.
Page 12.
I would say yes, Durka.
Durkan. Page 14.
Sorry, Your Lordship, in relation to to Durka, can you explain how it is that you know Durka?
He must have come in. I can't
Okay.
recollect exactly which event of the interrogation or torture.
Right. Thank you.
Fourteen.
So it's Furi again.
Yes, next page.
My Lord, I'm assuming that some of these photos are repeated and they may be the same person at different ages of his life. I would say it's Furi again.
And 16.
think it's the same man. Younger.
Who's that?
Fully.
And then 17?
Sorry, this photograph is very
yeah, it's
indistinct.
not good. It's not
The
a
facial
good
features are
My
missing.
Lord, I think we should skip that one.
Yes. Proceed to 18.
This is a uniformed policeman. I cannot comment on this photograph.
Following one, 19.
Fully.
Mine doesn't have 20.
Yes,
I don't know if the
that's
same-
because I think that
Or
was
this other one.
warrant officer
Okay,
Els.
21.
I would say front weight. The page 20 is missing, my lord.
Yes.
We had to
yes,
remove
20.
two of the pages, so that
Page
explains that.
20 and page 22. You'll see they're not.
And I presume those were photographs to do with Mr. Rodrigues and Mr. Els.
Precisely.
I would have, my lord, actually, I want to say I would have liked to see the photograph of Mr. Els.
Well,
For the reasons that the court has explained, we're not doing an ID of those two individuals.
I understand the reason, but I'm just expressing a preference.
you see, perhaps let me explain to you, Mr. Esu. You've been in court, you heard me explain to Mr. Els and Mr. Rodriguez that it is possible that they may be at risk of prosecution depending on the outcome of this particular inquest. And for that reason, it will prejudice them if we were to do the identification in this court from the photographs. You may perhaps be called in as a witness against them. I don't know. Should they be charged? I don't know. So I'd rather we not take that risk ourselves. We should exclude, just proceed on the side of caution. We must exclude those photos, and just in case it happens that they may have to be prosecuted, then if there is a question about their identity, it will be sorted out by the court hearing their case. You understand that?
I understand
Yes,
perfectly.
that is why they are not included here.
Yes.
Yes,
And I fully accept your explanation, my lord.
yes. Now, we are on 23.
All I can say, the face is familiar, but I can't say more.
My Lord, there is the secondary album, but my suggestion is that we don't ask Dr. Esop to go through that particular album because he actually prepared that particular album at the request of the court.
Yes, which one is that now?
So that would be N3. It's titled
It
Secondary.
was prepared by him
It was prepared by him,
from the newspaper cuttings.
precisely.
Yes, that's what he testified in Johannesburg.
Yes.
Okay, then let's proceed with it.
Okay. Dr. Esop, do you have the second set of photographs
Yes.
titled Reopen Timol Inquest, Uniform and Security Branches 71 to 72?
Yes.
And then let's start with page 1.
Which one are you dealing with now? N3 or N2?
N3.
No, N3, yes. Okay.
Yes, I definitely identify the man. It's Gloyd.
Okay. Photograph 2.
Yes, another definite, Van Wyk.
Photograph 3.
Again, another definite, Furi.
Four.
A definite, Kutsia.
Can you just give more detail besides the surname?
Johan Kutsia. He was eventually promoted to Commissioner of Police.
Was he one of your interrogators? Or what role did he play?
I have in my notes, which were not submitted to court yesterday, when I was in Pretoria, Pretoria Central Prison, as a detainee, after I was taken away from the hospital, HF Vervoer Hospital, and sometime late, I can't remember exactly which month, a security officer came. He told me his name was Kutsia, and he said he needed to take another statement from me. I had made a statement while I was detained at John Foster Square, so this was another statement I made, and I had recorded it as diary notes, which I gave to my lawyers. And he may have appeared at John Foster Square, but I cannot at this stage identify his role.
Perhaps we can move to photograph 5.
That's certainly Sergeant Leonard Klein. He was a uniformed policeman. He and another policeman arrested Ahmed Timol and myself at the roadblock near Coronation World Hospital. And he took me to, he took Ahmed Timol and I to the Newlands police station.
Yes.
He was the one who...
Dr. Essop, you have testified extensively on what Klein and Finney's
Yes.
did in relation to your arrest, as well as what occurred at Newlands and then at John Foster
Yes,
Square.
I have done that.
Yes.
Yes.
My Lord, that then concludes the photo identification, but
Of
Dr.
this
Essop,
one.
unless
Of
anybody
Dr.
else
Essop,
has,
yes. Okay.
No questions, thank you.
Yes.
Well, I've got no questions.
Okay.
My
Thank you
Lord, can
very
I just add one or two words to what I've said already?
Yes.
I understand that when you get arrested for whatever reason, even in the apartheid era, the policeman would read out the person who's arrested his rights or her rights. This wasn't done. No one ever showed me an ID card. No one ever gave me his or her name.
Yes, that is currently that is in the Constitution. It has to be enforced in the Constitution. You recall that at that time, the Constitution did not provide for that, even though the Criminal Procedure Act expected the police to behave in that manner, but it wasn't done.
It wasn't done. And one further point, one would have thought, even then, that they would have taken photographs of anyone detained, that they would have made an audio recording, which was possible, maybe even some kind of video recording. But nothing of that sort was ever done.
Yes. Well, those are the issues that we will converse with your legal representatives on the 17th and 18th of this month, which is week after next. Okay.
Okay, thank you, my Lord.
Thank you, Dr. Essop. You may step down.
as the court pleases. My Lord, the only other potential witness we have for the photo identification is Dr. Dilshad Jetham. Although, my Lord, we note that in her testimony she disclosed that she does have this disability when it comes to facial recognition, and we're wondering whether it's worth proceeding with her in those circumstances.
Yes. Have you consulted with her? What is her view? Does she want to?
She's
the
happy to do
exercise?
so if the court so directs.
No. Look, I merely extended that courtesy to them that in completion of their evidence, which they gave in Johannesburg, if they are in a position to identify any of the people here, they may do so. It's not really critically important for them to do so. So it's really up to her to decide whether she wants. You have shown her the pictures, have you?
We haven't shown them as yet.
You haven't?
No.
And I don't know. Dr. Jektam, can you just come nearer, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, before we swear you in, I just want to clear this up. I know in Johannesburg you made it clear that you wouldn't be in a position to identify some of the people necessarily from the photos. That is still the position.
That is so, my lord.
Yes. Would you like to be shown the photos to identify? It's not critical for you to do that,
No.
but
S-
yes.
The way I see it is, if it is an exercise that is going to help the court in some way, I would do it. But other than that, I do not wish to waste the court's time knowing what my problem is, which I have explained to my lord and to
Yes.
this court,
Yes, you did.
and it would really be an exercise in futility
Yes.
to go through that exercise.
Yes. Okay, then you are excused. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my lord.
Yes, I don't think we need to go into that.
As the court pleases. My lord, then the only other business for today is to hear the evidence of Ahmed Timol's nephew, Imtiaz Cajee,
Yes,
and with the leave of the court, I'd like to call him to the stand.
yes.
My learned junior has just pointed out the time to me,
Yes.
which is 10 past. My lord, can I actually suggest that we delay the hearing of Mr. Kajee's evidence until after tea?
Yes, we can do that. Mr. Cajee, I thought I would give you the honor to be the last witness here, but it looks like we'll be sitting again on the 10th of August in light of the new evidence that has come through. So you could decide. Either you still want to hold on to that honor and be the last to testify, which will probably be the Friday, the 11th, or you could do it just after tea. But we'll adjourn now, and you can discuss with your legal representative, and then you'll tell me when we come back. We can hear you after tea.
Thanks a lot.
But as I said, I wanted to give you that honor, you being the person who pursued this case over the years to bring us here to this point. We'll adjourn until 11:30.
Ever, We have our heroes in history, heroes and heroines. Those people were truly struggling. Moral stature of himself. He would have a great sense of morality and he knew what to take humanity further. Those are and these people it can't be the law. We can help them. Journalists do, lawyers do, everything. I don't like the military. That's why I'm not sure about it. I've said it. I would like to say, provided it's success, let's have a couple of comments. Okay?
Yes, Mr. Van.
As the court pleases. My Lord, I've consulted with Mr. Imtiaz Cajee, and he has decided to accept the honor that you have bestowed upon him in being the last witness, and he asked me to indicate to the court that he is humbled by this honor. With the court's leave, we will lead his evidence next week.
Next week. Yes,
My Lord, in that case, there's just a little bit of housekeeping. We have 2 further affidavits and an updated exhibit list that we would like to hand up. The 2 affidavits are really small, thin affidavits. My Lord, the first affidavit is of Mutondi Maladzi. She's a candidate attorney at the Legal Resources Center, and she was tasked with the job of tracking down the medical records of Dr. Esop and Dr. Jetham at various hospitals. And in her affidavit, she sets out her endeavors in trying to retrieve old historical records at those hospitals, sadly without success. She also sets out her endeavors to track down the personal records of the late Izzy Maisels. Izzy Maisels was the senior counsel who represented the family at the first inquest. And my Lord, unfortunately, there were no records on Timol to be found amongst the family records. My Lord, we've marked that particular affidavit H14.
Yes.
And my Lord, the final affidavit is that of Eleanor Groenewald. My Lord, Eleanor Groenewald is the head of litigation and administration, legal and policy services with the South African Police Service. And General Groenewald confirms that the police files that we have submitted to this court were provided to us by police headquarters. And my Lord, we've marked that affidavit H16.
Thank you.
And finally, my Lord, we have the updated list of exhibits, and I believe that those are with you.
Yes.
And my Lord, that is all we have for you this morning.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes.
My Lord, thank you. The subpoena and the criminal proceedings for Mr. Adam Ahmed, previously with affidavit, was handed up to you. I just wanted to ensure that if we go and look for this witness, that the subpoena in the time frame. So I would like this court to issue the instruction that he appear next Thursday and Friday, my Lord, because the present date is from the 24th of July till the 4th of August, 4th of August, that's today. So I just want to ensure that the subpoena is valid.
Yes.
I've asked my assistant here, Captain Benel, and General Groenewald, Eleanor Groenewald, to assist me that it's served properly.
Yes.
So I would like the court to order that he appear next Thursday and Friday, the 10th and 11th of August, my Lord.
My Lord, it occurs to me there is one further matter.
Let me conclude with this one. It has come to my attention that the evidence of this person here has become critical in light of the question of the timing of the death of Mr. Timol, that he is one of the witnesses, eyewitnesses, who was working at the filling station nearby and who can assist us in terms of the time of death. So the subpoena that was authorized is now extended, the date is extended, that he should come and testify on the 10th or 11th.
10th or 11th, my Lord.
Yes, on the
Thank
10th
you,
or
Lord.
11th.
10th of 11th.
Because my intention is to close all oral evidence on the 11th. Because beyond that, we must reach a point where we have to work with what we have here.
As the court pleases.
Yes,
my
we
Lord.
cannot keep it open-ended. So on the 10th, he must be brought here.
As the
And we know that previous attempt to subpoena him resulted in him not cooperating. I think it should be made clear to him that should he persist in that conduct, we won't hesitate to apply the law
As
to
a
lock him up.
As a
We
court,
need this evidence here because it needs to help us in terms of determining, in particular, the time of death.
as a court, please, my
Yes,
lord.
so it is extended, the subpoena is extended, it must be served on him. If need be, you can have another or a new subpoena issued, and I will authorize it. And every attempt must be made to secure his presence here on the 10th of August.
As a court, please. Thank you,
Yes.
my lord.
Thank you. Yes, Mr. Vanu.
My Lord, the one outstanding matter, I don't know whether you've had a chance to consider the statement of the former Truth Commission investigator, Mr. Piers.
Yes, I've
Pugh.
looked at it here as soon as you submitted it. We'll need to hear it. You want a subpoena issued?
My Lord, I don't think a subpoena is necessary. As soon as we adjourn, I will call him in London and ask him whether he could make arrangements. I'll also speak to my colleagues from the NPA to ensure that his costs are subsidized
Yes.
to come back and then return to London.
He is a critical witness. I've just looked at this, and if he's in London, I'll appreciate that he comes through on the 10th. But then that will mean, Mr. Kutsia, that Mr. Rodriguez must be here on the 11th.
Yes, my Lord, I've already raised it with the State Attorney that we will arrange for a consultation with him and to
Yes.
ensure that he is available on Friday.
Because
week.
this evidence we are going to hear relates to him.
Yes,
And so he needs to come in, and in all fairness to him, he must have an opportunity to react to that. You have a copy of the draft affidavit?
I have.
Yes, you'll in the meantime
I
consult
will consult with him on
Yes.
those issues, my Lord, and I
And
will
g-
see if we can assist in any way in this regard.
Yes, get
Evidence.
instructions. Get
Yes.
instructions from him, and let's see what happens.
Thank you.
So we'll then stand down until the 10th of August. And let me say this. I made a call in Johannesburg when we started with these proceedings that any witness or any person who may have witnessed the incident relating to the death of Mr. Timol needs to come forward and assist this commission, this inquest. We are now having a response from various witnesses as a result of the media coverage, and I must extend my appreciation to that. I'm certain that there might be some people out there who were alive around that area of John Foster Square who might have just seen what transpired on that day. It may be uniformed policemen, it need not necessarily be members of the security branch. It may be private civilians. I'm making a call that any such person must get in touch with the family of Mr. Timol through the attorneys Weber Wenzel or through the office of the National Prosecuting Authority and come forward. The 11th of August is the last day on which we'll hear oral evidence. Other evidence that will come thereafter can only be by affidavit, and that will be up to the 18th of August. From the 18th of August, I will have to decide this matter on the evidence that is before me. I won't be able to accommodate any other thing beyond that. So the oral evidence, we are saying let's have it all in by the 11th of August, and any other evidence thereafter by affidavit before the 18th of August. Unless there's something very exceptional, I might have to reopen the reopened inquest to hear that, but it will have to be relevant evidence that might just resolve this issue. Other than that, we will follow those days that I've just announced now. And once again, I'm making the call to all the people out there who may be of assistance to this inquest, please to come forward and do so. And it will be greatly appreciated. On that note, and we will stand down then until 10 o'clock on Thursday. That's Thursday next week, the 10th of August. And we will take it from there. But in the meantime, let me be kept informed of all other witnesses that may come forward, so that then, if it's possible to obtain their affidavits, let's have them prepared before then. Anything else you want to raise, Mr. Vani, before we adjourn?
Nothing further, Your Lordship.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Tutu.
Thank
yes, Mr.
Raised. Thank you, my Lord.
Yes. On that note, then, we will adjourn until 10 o'clock, the 10th of August.